Hello guys, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to my channel. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please kindly do so. It will really mean a lot to me. Okay, in this video we are going to learn how to draft a perfect princess dart pattern. Like this is the princess dart pattern that really works for me. Okay, so these are the measurements we need: the shoulder, chest line, bust point, under bust span, front length, back length, bust circumference, and waist circumference. You might be wondering what is front length and back length. You know that your front length is not equal to your back length. This is because there is a bust at the front, so it's always higher than the back, and the difference is usually 2 inches on the average, 2.5. But if really a busty person, 3 can go. Okay, so I have my front length as 16.5 and my back length as 14.5. Like this is what will give you a good fitted garment. Okay, so those lines, I marked 1 inch from the edge of my paper. That will serve as my shoulder line, and that is zip allowance. I marked it out. Okay, and I divide the paper also by 2. So that side is my front, and the other side which has zip allowance is my center back. So I'm marking 3 by 3 inches for the front neck depth. Okay, and I'm connecting it like so. If you've watched my tutorial on basic bodies, you will understand what I'm doing. And I'm also marking 3 inches width and 1 inches depth at the center back for my back neck depth. Okay, and I will also connect it. Alright guys, the next thing I'm going to mark is my shoulder measurements. I have my shoulder as 15 divided by 2, I have 7.5. I'm marking it, and from that point I came down by 1 inch for the shoulder slant. I'll also do the same thing for the back, marking half of my shoulder measurement, which is 7.5. From that point I came down by 1 inch, then I connect my shoulder slant like that. Okay, so from that point I'm going to mark my chest line. Okay, this is my armhole depth. I got it by dividing my bust circumference by 6, then plus 1.5. I'll also do the same thing for the back. Okay, so after that I will mark my shoulder measurement on that chest line. This is for me to be able to connect a straight line. Okay, a straight armhole line. So that's the only purpose. Okay, so I'm bringing down the measurements I have so as to have a straight line. So I'm marking my bust point, which is 10 inch. Okay, and I'm connecting it like so. So we have bust points only at the front bodies because that is where the bust is. So after that I'm marking my under bust line. Okay, under bust length, which is 13.5, and I'm connecting it like so. So these measurements are very vital for princess darts. Okay, so after that I'm marking my front length. Okay, and my front length is 16.5. So then I move to the back. I'm marking my back length. The back length I'm working with is 14.5. You can notice that the front length and back length are not the same. Okay, so you measure it by tying a bias at your waist. You measure your front length from the nape of your neck down to where you tie the bias, and you also do the same thing at the back. Okay, I'm marking my bust span divided by 2 on the bust point line, under bust line, and on the waist line, and I'm connecting it like so. I'll do the same thing at the back. 3.5. My bust span is 7 divided by 2, it's 3.5. Okay, I'm going to look for the midpoint of the armhole. I want to create my armhole curve, and I'm marking that angle 45. Then from that point, I'm marking 0.75 inch. Then on the chest line, I'll mark my bust measurement divided by 4, then plus 1 inch seam allowance. Then I'll connect my curve like that. Okay. I'll do the same thing at the back. I will mark my bust circumference divided by 4 plus 1 inch seam allowance. And I'll also get the midpoint. From that point, I'm coming in by 0.25. Then I'll also mark angle 45 at that point. From that point, I'm coming out by 1 inch. Then I'll connect my back armhole like so. The next thing I'm going to do is to mark my waist measurement divided by 4. I'm using 1.5 inches that allowance, I mark it, and 1 inch seam allowance, I also mark it and connect it like that. I'll do the same thing at the back, my waist measurement divided by 4, then plus 1 inch that allowance, then plus 1 inch sewing allowance, then I'll connect it like that. So from the bust point, I'm going up by 1 inch, then I'm coming down by 1 inch to enable me connect my princess dart without any pointy edge. So from the center of the armhole, I will connect it to that 1 inch I came up from the bust point. Okay. This is to avoid any sharp edge. Then on the under bust line, I'm going to take 0.75 inch on each side of the dart line, and I'll connect it to that 1 inch I came down from the bust point. On the waist time, I'm also marking 0.75 inch, then I'll connect it like that. After that, we are going to blend any sharp edge because we don't really need any sharp edge. This is a princess that it has to be smooth. Okay, so I'm blending it like that, blending any form of sharp edge. So my dart allowance is 1.5. You can take 2, but I decided to take 1.5 because it's normal. So from my side seam, I'm going to input my bust dart. So that bust dart is the difference between my front length and my back length. Okay, so I'm going to input it that. Okay, then I'll connect it to my bust point. So the difference between, so I've marked my bust dart, which is 2 inch. Okay, so I'm going to shade it like this, and we are done with our princess dart. Okay, so the next thing here is I'm going to show you how you are going to eliminate the back bulge. So simply come here, you mark 1 inch inward and connect it like so. And when we remove 1 inch, you know the waistline has automatically short, so I'm going to add back the 1 inch here and connect it. Okay, after that I'm going to mark the dart for the back. I added 1 inch for that allowance, so I'm taking it away. Okay, so the next thing is I'm going to connect back our new zipper allowance from this point. Okay, so after that, the next thing now is to add seam allowance on the neckline, shoulder, armhole. Then after that, then I will show you guys how to chew the bust dart so that this side seam can be equal. Guys, I'm done adding seam allowance, so this will be 2 piece. So I'm simply going to get the midpoint of the shoulder point and I'll connect it so that we can have 2 piece. Okay, then once I'm done, I'm going to separate. So I've separated the front and back pattern, so I want to chew the bust dart so that this side seam can be equal. So what I'm going to do, I will open up this place. And I will cover it like so. I will tape it down. Okay, so I'm cutting. Okay, you can see that this can't close. Okay, I just tried it out for you guys to see. I have to open up this place so that the dart can be transferred to the bulge dart. So once I release this place, here is going to release finally. Okay, so you can see. So once I close this, automatically this side seam and this side seam will now be equal, and you can see that this line shifted. So we are going to draw our new side seam. Okay, so just use your paper tape to tape it down. So I've used my paper tape to secure it, and I will go on to cut out like that. Also going to okay, so we have our princess dart here, the center front and the side front, and I'm also going to cut out the back too. Okay, so what we have here is our princess dart, both front and back bodies. So what you want to do now is to grab your fabric, you cut this side on fold. Okay, you cut this side on fold, you add 1/2 inch joining allowance, you cut these two pieces, you add 1/2 inch joining allowance. We've already added side seam allowance. Okay, you also do the same thing to the back. The back will be 2 pieces and this will be 2 pieces. This is the center back and this is the side back. You also add same allowance, 1/2 inch joining allowance. I hope you guys understand this tutorial. If you have any question, please kindly drop it on the comment section. We'll be using this princess dart to make different designs. Okay, so subscribe to my channel so that you can be seeing those designs. All right guys, please like and share my video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.